intelligent, purposeful agent acting or not? We already know this. We've known this for a long time, and we've used it in so many different fields of study. Think of all those CSI shows, crime scene investigation shows. Every one of those shows is based on this. They are trying to determine if an intelligent agent acted or not, or was this just some horrible accident. So, crime scene investigation, copyright law, patent law, reverse engineering, code breaking, search for extraterrestrial life, archaeology, anthropology, information theory, in vast areas of study, from things as different from crime scene investigation to archaeologists who dug something up and they're like, is this man-made or not? All of them use the same tools to determine is there an intelligent agent involved or not? And here's what they do. There's properties. Now on the handout I gave you, one of the first blanks there, the answer is properties. We know the properties of when an intelligent agent is acting or not. Now, I've listed them here. And some of you might be thinking, oh my goodness, here comes those science words, and here comes some things, I don't want to have to memorize all this, and you don't have to. I'll show you that a child can just know this without even memorizing it. But let me go over them just so you kind of get an idea. So, an intelligent agent, here's the first thing that they'll do that you'll know an intelligent agent may be involved. An intelligent agent uses a choice among a range of options. For example, a school locker. All right, what's the first thing you have to do where you're making a choice among a range of options? What's that?
Right or left?
What's that?
Right or left?
Oh yeah, that's the pattern. We're going to get to that one too. The first thing is, and someone said something to it where you have about, I think it's like 60 numbers. You have to get. You might not have to be exactly on, but right within that very first number. So you just made a choice among a range of options. And you don't have to do it just one time. There's 3 numbers you got to hit. So now you have to make a choice among a range of options, all in combination with each other. So a range of options, all in combination with each other, and they have to fit an external pattern or requirement. What I mean by that is, it's something that was set that is required that doesn't force anything on the person who's doing this. So, for example, you brought up the thing where you actually, if you're doing a lock, you have to first go to the first number, you have to turn left. And then you turn right and you skip the second number and then you get it the next time. And then you turn left again to get to the third number. That's a pattern. Now, you put all those things together, choosing among a range of options, all in combination, following external pattern. That requires intelligent agency. Chance plus nature is not capable of reaching that kind of complexity. Now, chance and nature can do some awesome stuff though. For example, using cause and effect in natural laws, you can explain how you get a spiral galaxy. Spiral galaxies are beautiful. And they look like they have some form, but you explain that with gravity and a few other natural laws. Just real simple instructions. It's more complicated instructions when you're having to make people make a choice among a range of options in combination for an external pattern. We don't have that with galaxy. With a galaxy, you just have natural laws. Also, chance can only operate within mathematical probability. Whenever someone says, oh, that can happen by chance, I'll say, oh, you just stepped into math now. We can analyze whether you're right about that. Question?
How about a sledgehammer, get it over?
What's that?
A sledgehammer, break it open.
Break what open? Oh, the lock? Yeah. Now, he would be using natural laws, but still an intelligent agent would have to still direct it. He would have to hit with a certain range of force in a certain place, and he would have a purpose. He would have some kind of external purpose. Like, for example, if you want to get into a locker and you see a locker busted open, school officials aren't going to initially say, you could say, oh, was this chance? Or did somebody purposely try to get in here? And then you analyze it using these same properties. When you see a snowflake, for example, A snowflake is beautiful. I mean, that looks like some great art. However, it's still that we know it's naturally caused because even though it has beautiful structure, the structure is just repeated. There's no changes made that require choosing among a range of options and so on. So that's just natural laws doing their thing. Now, this probably didn't make sense. I just wanted to give a basic foundation, but now we're going to use it in practice and you'll see how easy it is to know when an intelligent agent has acted or not. And we're going to apply this to the universe because we can find out whether things in nature and in the universe involve an intelligent agent or not. For example, on the right here you see Man in the Cliff in New Hampshire. Now it looks a little bit more like a man when you have the right lighting on it and stuff, but you know, looking at this, no one's going to really be thinking that's necessarily carved out because you can explain it with erosion, rock fragmentation, gravity, and so on. However, the figure on the right, no one's going to rationally say, oh wow, that's amazing what chance can do. Because think about this. The chiseler, you have the artist there, he goes to the eye and he's starting to work on the eye. Now, he has to hit with a certain amount of force to get just the chip he wants and in the right location. Could he be off a little bit? Sure, but not too much, or you start messing up the look. So the artist, she would have to know, she'd have to make choices among a range of options when she's chiseling out the eye, or when he's chiseling out the nose, or when they're chiseling out the chin. So that's a combination. So now you're making choices among a range of options, all in combination with each other, fitting an external pattern of the president's face. Now, a portrait of George Washington has no causal effect on forcing Rock to do anything. You need an intelligent agent to make the choices to fit the external pattern of the president's face. And if anyone's having trouble figuring out that an intelligent agent did the front side of Mount Rushmore, you should check out the often neglected back side of Mount Rushmore. Now, this may still seem confusing, but now I'm going to show you even a child can figure this out. So you have a little 7-year-old. She or he's walking down the stairs and they go to the breakfast table. They see a knocked over box of alphabet cereals. And this is what they see. If that child says, oh my goodness, isn't it amazing how it just worked out that it spells out something, then their slow rear end is going to get consequences for not being smart enough to figure this out. But any kid can figure this out. Chance is not capable of choosing among a range of options. That first letter, you had 1 in 26 options. Plus the placement of it, I guess, so there's even more. Then you had to make another choice among a range of options. You had to choose the A out of the 26 letters. Then you had to make another choice among a range of options. And they all have to be in combination with each other. And they have to fit the external pattern of the English language. This is not explainable by chance. Now, if I knock over 1 billion boxes of alphabet cereal, could I get to this? I still say no, not mathematically. If anyone is so stuck on wanting to prove that, go ahead and test it. I want to see how many times it takes you to do that. I don't think it's really possible, but I'm not going to say anything's impossible with that, so I'll just, because that's what science tries to do. They'll try to say nothing's impossible. What they're kind of hiding is some things are absolutely foolish for you to believe in. They might not be impossible, but they're absolutely foolish for you to believe in. It'd be foolish for you to believe that this is anything but an intelligent agent acting here. And if you make choices in your life based on that there's not an intelligent agent acting here, there's consequences. And we see that with the universe. When you look at the universe, what scientists have found, and it has freaked them out, they find, and this is not my words, they call it fine-tuning in the universe. They find things that seem to be just where they need to be for life to exist. For example, Stephen Hawking looked and he noted, and I don't know if he discovered this or someone else did, but so in every atom in the universe, You have protons and neutrons that can be in the middle, in the nucleus, and you have electrons in this probability cloud around it. Now, in every atom in the universe, a proton is 1,836 times more massive, having more mass, than an electron. Just happened to be like that. That's just how the universe began. Now, what's interesting though is, Stephen Hawking said, the remarkable fact is that the values of these numbers, and at the time he found about, when he made this quote, there's about 40 things that he found. Here was one of them, was this proton-electron difference. And he said, if this ratio were much different, molecules could not form and we'd have no life at all. No life possible. And then he goes on and says, the remarkable fact is that the values of these numbers seem to have been very finely adjusted to make possible the development of life. If you even change slightly the electric charge of the electron, because it's a negative charge to it, if you just change it slightly, either stars would have been unable to burn or they would just explode. In either case, you have no stars. This kind of, like things being just where they're supposed to, just picture a dial being turned just exactly where it's supposed to. They found this everywhere. From the smallest aspects that we study to the biggest. Let's go to some of the smallest. How many had to memorize the periodic table in like chemistry? I think it was like high school chemistry or something. Yeah, that was useless. I mean, you're told, oh, no, you know, kids ask, what's this used for? That's a valid question, because really, I had no use for this at all. Except for maybe when the Breaking Bad TV show came out, the intro had something with it, and I was like, oh, periodic table, that's about it. But here's the thing. So the proton I told you about, the proton and the neutron, they're also made of